Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. Today we are cooking with a very seasonal West Coast ingredient, spot prawns. Spot prawns are in season from May to June and I look forward to eating these sweet and delicious prawns every year. Today we will be using these spot prawns in my recipe for spot prawn dumplings. These dumplings are sweet, savory, and a little bit spicy and are a great way to use this seasonal ingredient when it's available. So if you want to learn how to make my spot prawn dumplings, just keep on watching. For this recipe, you will need soy sauce, dumpling wrappers, spot prawns, cilantro, garlic, sesame oil, water chestnuts, white pepper, and green scallions. These are the dumpling wrappers that I use. When you're buying them, make sure that the package actually says dumpling wrappers and that you're buying the round kind. These are my favorite and they're made in Vancouver. We'll begin this recipe by making the filling, and we'll start off by chopping up our green scallions. I like to finely chop these scallions so that it mixes in really well with the filling and gets evenly distributed. Once you're done chopping the scallions, go ahead and add them into a mixing bowl. Next, we'll chop up the water chestnuts, and I like to buy these canned and then simply just drain them and rinse them really well. Water chestnuts are often used in regular shrimp dumplings because they offer a nice crunchy texture to the filling, and this works also perfectly with spot prawns. Again, I like to finely chop the water chestnuts as well, but I don't want to make them too small so that they disappear. You still want them to have a little bit of a crunch in the filling, so not too small, but also not too big. Then when they're all chopped up, add them to your bowl with the scallions. Next we'll add our garlic, and I want to make sure that the garlic is very, very finely chopped in this recipe, so for this reason I'm using my garlic press. All you have to do is put the garlic cloves in the garlic press and give it a good squeeze, and just like that, your garlic is finely chopped. Once the garlic has been added into the bowl, we're going to add some chopped cilantro, and again make sure this is very finely chopped, followed by some sesame oil, as well as some soy sauce. And again, the full directions and measurements will be linked in the description box below. Finally, we're going to add a little bit of white pepper, and the white pepper offers a nice subtle peppery note compared to black pepper, and it works really well with the mild flavor of the spot prawns. And once all your ingredients have been added into the bowl, give everything a nice mix with a spoon. In the end, the filling should look just like this, and we'll set it aside for now while we prepare the spot prawns. For this recipe, I'm just using spot prawn tails because I'm really looking to get just the meat from the spot prawn as opposed to all the other bits that you get with the whole spot prawn. Plus, I think it's easier to prepare and it's a little bit more convenient for making this recipe. Removing the shells of the spot prawn is pretty easy, and it's really similar to peeling a shrimp. I find it's easiest to get in between where the legs are and just peel the shell back around the body. Then at the end, just simply pinch the tail and the meat should just slide right out. And if you look closely, you can see why they call them spot prawns. After they're peeled, you can still see these 4 little white dots on their bodies, which is pretty cool. Once you have your first spot prawn peeled, set it aside and continue the process for the rest of the spot prawns. You'll need about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of the spot prawn tails, a little bit more if you're buying the full spot prawns. And when you're done peeling the spot prawns, don't throw the shells away. You can make a really great stock with it, or what I like to do is save the shells and then bury it in our garden, and it's really, really great compost for your plants. But since this filling is all about the texture, I'm going to make sure that we have different sizes of spot prawn pieces in the filling to add a nice bite. As I run my knife through the filling to chop it up, I'm going to get down to pieces that are about 1/2 centimeter to 1 centimeter in size. I'm going to set aside about 1/3 of the portion that's on the cutting board and add it into my bowl. From there, I'm going to go ahead and just finely chop the rest of it into a nice spot prawn paste. Then once you have the rest of the spot prawns all chopped up into a paste, add it to your mixing bowl. Once you have everything added into the bowl, go ahead and mix everything together with a spoon. And of course, you can still make this recipe even if you don't have access to spot prawns. You can just substitute them with tiger shrimp. If you are using tiger shrimp, add about a teaspoon of sugar to the recipe. Tiger shrimp are less sweet than spot prawns, so adding a little bit of sugar will help with that balance. And now that the filling's all mixed together, set it aside and we'll start wrapping our dumplings. To wrap your dumplings, take a single dumpling wrapper and place it on your work surface. Mix together a little bit of cornstarch and cold water to make a glue to seal your dumpling wrapper together. Wipe it along the edges of the dumpling wrapper and then add a little bit of the filling. When I wrap my homemade dumplings, I like to pleat them. So to do this, simply fold the dumpling in half, but don't let the two edges touch. To create the pleats, simply push the top piece of the dumpling wrapper over itself and use your thumb to pinch it together. Try and aim for about 6 to 8 pleats. 8 is actually the lucky number, but if you can't get to 8, 6 or 7 is good as well. Once the first one is done, add it to a plate and continue the process for the rest of the dumplings. And of course, if you don't want to pleat the dumplings like this, you can fold them into various different shapes like wontons or half moons. It's totally up to you. And now that your dumplings are all made, I'll show you how to cook them. For these spot prawn dumplings, I like to boil them, so bring a large pot of water to a rolling boil over high heat and add in your dumplings. I like to add about 12 in per batch. As you can see, I'm also adding in some extra full spot prawn tails just for the garnish, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. These spot prawn dumplings don't take that long at all to cook, just about 4 to 5 minutes. But as they cook, make sure to stir them around once in a while just to make sure that they don't stick to each other or the bottom of the pot. I can tell that the spot prawn tails are fully cooked because they turned a nice bright orange and they've curled up, so I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the pot. You'll know that the dumplings are fully cooked when you see them turn a little bit more orangey pink, and when you pull one out, if you touch it, the dumpling wrapper should be nice and soft and the filling inside should feel nice and firm. So once they've reached that stage, remove them from the pot and add them onto a serving plate. Now you can eat the spot prawn dumplings plain or with some soy sauce, but I really like to serve them up with some chili oil as well as a garnish of chopped scallions. I really enjoy this sweet and spicy combination, but if you don't like spice, you can also dip them into soy sauce or a mixture of soy sauce and black vinegar. And there you have it, my recipe for spot prawn dumplings. Make sure you serve these straight away while they're still warm and just watch these disappear. And don't forget, spot prawn season is really short, so make sure you go out to your local fish store and pick up some spot prawns and make these today. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more delicious recipes just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.